You know what? When I talk to people about it as well, I've compared it to like the property market, where you have to have a huge investment and the returns are small. You're talking, like a rental property, you're making a few £100 a month.
Yeah.
We're making it a day.
All right, everybody, welcome. We're joined here by Michael and Matt. What I want to do, guys, is just hand it over to you to just introduce yourself a little bit, and if you could talk through a bit about, I guess, when your journey from starting FBA to where we are now, like a cliff note overview, and then we'll kind of get into the details in a second.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Matt. Joined the course. It was the end of 2018. It took us, I'd say, 2 months to fully digest it and start the product research stage. We found a product within a month, I'd say, and then got it launched in July of 2019. And we were fortunate enough to get our 10K award. I think it was within 2 months.
Nice.
Just over 2 months, we hit the 10K.
There must be another one coming up soon.
Oh, next week possibly.
Oh, really? So we'll get you. Where is it? These ones. Oh my god! So we'll get you one of these.
One each, please, Jonny. One each.
One each. You know how much it costs?
They're cheaper than the other ones, though, aren't they?
They are £20 cheaper than the other ones. Yes, that is correct. I'm looking forward to that. Let's talk about that then, because that's wicked. Congratulations, guys! That's so awesome. I had a feeling that is what you're going to tell me today, because I know one of you who was talking on Instagram. One of you. I don't know who it was.
Yeah, it's myself. Yeah.
You said you got something to tell me, and I didn't know if it was bad or good, but obviously I thought it was good. So let's talk about that. For anyone that doesn't know that is watching, what happens is when people join the Stellar Pro Academy, when they make their first 10,000, their first 100,000, they get a 10K award, which is like that, which is very, very lovely, or a 100K one, just like that. And it just kind of signifies a milestone, basically. As you guys know, you don't really kind of get any pats on the back from anyone. You just see the numbers, and that's about it, really. You're like, okay, cool. Yeah. So I created these just to
you pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, you can do that, but then like no one's around to watch. You're like, oh, okay, cool. I'll just continue on my normal day to life. So tell me about that. How is that feeling? Obviously, you've not made it quite yet, but if it's within the next week or so, that's awesome. So how do you guys feel about that?
Pretty good, to be fair. I mean, it kind of, in a weird way, it kind of creeps up on you. You almost, when you start off doing this process, you kind of, that's your main goal. You want to hit 10K, 100K. You want to see money coming in, but you start getting more involved in the ins and outs of the business, and that actually becomes more interesting. And the money then, obviously that's the whole point of it. You want to, but it's it just creeps up on you.
It's quite easy to get desensitized, isn't it? When you
see, it is. I think that's one of my biggest points. Well, my thing from this is I've completely desensitized myself with sort of financial numbers. 100K now to me doesn't seem like that much. It's it's achievable, it's doable. It's not a lot of money really when you've got it in. It's completely changed my money mindset. Really has.
For just a question, and before then, if I said to you when you launch your product, this time next year you would have made 100K like sales. What would your thinking be back then?
Shock, I think. I think it would have been an element of disbelief. I genuinely do, especially with that old mindset. Now, obviously, it's completely different. But we were ecstatic to hit that 10K mark. That was, and that was a big a landmark for us. So we was over the moon to hit that. So, you know, let alone thinking of 100K. Yeah.
I mean, if you have a product that you know is going to work, and you have that customer empathy like we do with ours, it does become a lot easier to see. And you know, in the initial product research, you're going to think, oh, it's impossible. How am I going to find something that's going to make me money? But you know, after a while, you start getting involved in the product, and you're designing it, you're rebranding it, you're making it your own, you're building that confidence, and it does. After a while, it does become easily visible. Yeah.
I guess as you get more like proud of what you create, because I love your guys' products, I love the branding, I love what you've done with it, and it does stand out, right? When you go and look on Amazon, it stands out. You're like, oh, that looks a lot better than everyone else's, and that's why you've been able to get the results that you've been able to get. Is because all the work that you put in initially when you started doing all that. So let's talk about the last kind of 3-4 months or so, because you guys have been working with myself, Jason's part of the Seller Pro Academy team, also a 100K club member. I don't even know what he's made now, but it's a lot more. And for anyone that doesn't know, I've been running a beta test for PPC. So PPC on Amazon, advertising on Amazon, which is part of the new Seller Pro Academy, which I haven't actually announced. Anyway, it's coming out. And so you guys are part of the beta test. So can we talk about that for a little bit in terms of your knowledge on Amazon advertising previously to doing that, and then to kind of the results and how it's gone over the last couple of months?
Yeah, sure. So we obviously the course teaches you know, the fundamentals of it anyway. So we kind of knew what we were doing. You know, we knew the basics, so we set up, you know, campaigns, and we were tweaking them, and we thought we kind of had a good grasp of it. And it was quite frustrating because there's a lot of information to take in, and you know, you have to really understand how the keywords and the search terms work, and you know, you need a method, and we didn't have that method, and we were kind of, you know, getting frustrated with it. We weren't seeing the results. We had a good product, and you know, we were generating good revenue, but we knew we could, you know, excel and you know, make more. So it was frustrating in the first 6 months, I'd say. Yeah, the first 6 months. And then we had a good Christmas. Sales were good, and then we kind of plateaued January, February. And again, we were really eager to try and boost sales. And then this is when the PTC course came about, and it was just, you know, a great opportunity. We had to just go for it. And yeah, we've implemented it, and it's doubled our sales. It's doubled our daily sales, yeah. And
Crazy.
Yesterday, in fact, we had our best day ever, and we generated £1,200 in the day.
Yes.
So,
yes.
you know,
wicked. Congratulations. So, like, I know we were speaking before a few weeks ago, and you were looking for that 1K day. And have you had a few of those, or is it just like a couple so far?
There's been a couple so far. Obviously, given the current climate and whatnot, it's sort of skewed a few things. But we've had a couple so far. Yeah. It's quite impressive. Actually, when you start off trying to, like Matt was saying, when you start off running these campaigns, and you set a budget, and you think, oh, my budget's run out by midday. You're not optimizing. You know how much money you're spending on it. Now, like yesterday, like Matt said, we had one of our best days off it, and our campaigns were still running until late last night. You know, probably past till 11 o'clock possibly. And that's just all through understanding each bid on the keywords, knowing where to optimize it. And obviously you set your own budget, but yeah, it's good to see those days come through, especially off, you know, after this course, and seeing the value that it is implemented. into our company.
So where do you think you can be? Because we were only been working on this the PPC stuff for what, just 2 months. It's going into the third, I don't know, 2 months maybe, two full months.
Yeah.
2 full months, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, by the way. Results, doubled sales in 2 months. That's crazy. But let's just park that, because you said that feeling of when you first started. If I told you you'd be doing 100K in the next year. So what would be that same progression for you guys from this point today going forward? What would be that point where you're like, nah, that's not possible, but it kind of is?
Well,
go on, Matt, go on.
I'd say 60 to 100K a month.
Yeah. And
that's not just with one product. Mm-hmm. With this one product, I feel that we can do 30K a month. Mm-hmm. And I reckon with another 2 or some variations, we've got possibilities to do variations. I can easily see 60, well, let's say 80 to 100K a month.
Wicked. So basically that's £1 million a month, £1 million a year business at that point, as soon as you get to about 83K or something like that. Which would be...
That's just the UK market as well.
Yeah, so you have the ability. Do you actually sell in Europe as well at the moment?
Not yet, but that again, so that would be another.
Yeah, can bring in a little bit extra revenue. But yeah, definitely the variations, like bringing another product or a main like hero product into your brands. So of course you can add the variations, which you could probably just add on anytime really, as long as you got for it. But then like do a major product launch, that could again very easily kind of springboard you to that in the next year. How do you feel like confidence wise being able to replicate your success?
Oh yeah, well, I think myself and Matt we're on the same understanding. Obviously we work closely together, and I think that we have the background and the expertise, and from what we've learned, we can just implement it and take it into the next product, chuck it over, and it will just roll on. Once you understand it after this course, it's just invaluable, and it's much more streamlined, I feel, and confident, like Matt said earlier as well.
Totally, yeah. All right, wicked. So for the people that are watching that are like, all well and good, like, cool guys, like, let's make loads of money, but they're thinking, I want to get started on Amazon. What were the concerns that you had before starting, and what would you say to yourself, knowing what you know now?
Concerns initially, I'd say it's just uncertain, isn't it? It's just like anything you try from a new thing. You're not sure. You haven't got the experience. You just don't know fully. To be honest, when we joined the calls, we saw, and especially the Facebook group, we saw how many people had achieved 10K and beyond, and that gave us confidence. So I'd just say, yeah, the uncertainty really.
Was it kind of like scared of like investing in stock and all those sorts of things?
I wasn't necessarily scared of that. Financially as well. Obviously we're a partnership, so we split the investment from the off, which was a strategical move. So financially it wasn't a massive outlay from the off. So you kind of, if you're talking 20 grand, or 10 grand is a massive outlay, but we're talking like 2 grand. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't even really for us that big of a risky investment. And seeing all the sort of testimonials and the videos and the proof, it just kind of cemented that for us.
And you're real people as well. We've actually met in human life as well.
Yeah. I think I just want to expand on what Matt was saying there. That I feel when we first started looking in, the one struggle to really get it rolling was when we were searching for a product. And I've noticed that within the seller group, that there's a lot of people who are getting quite stuck on that, and you've got to just sort of stop getting so bogged down in it, and just, you know, what do you use every day, or what do you have customer empathy for? You know, stop thinking too hard. You can overthink it. It can be a very simple product, much like yourself, Jonny, a water, you know, and just, it's all about your branding and what you want to put into it.
Hey, whoa! Hey! Hey!
Did you pay him to do that? Bit of free advertising. But yeah, I mean, like Matt said as well, the finance part of it. Obviously, it's easier when there's two of you, and you have each other to fall on. But you don't have to have a lot of money to invest in. You just need to use your money wisely, and know when to spend it and where to spend it.
Just on that note, so did you start with like what, a couple of thousand?
Pretty much.
It total was about 3.5, I'd say. 3.5 was a total investment.
And have you had to add money in, or have you just used? You haven't at all. Like,
no.
So you just want reinvest, and I guess that caused some stock issues at the start, I can imagine.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, and that would be another thing that has been a bit of a headache, is cash flow. It's a good problem to have. You know, if your product's selling well, then you can kind of, you know, it's a problem you can kind of take on the chin. But, you know, in hindsight, if we had more money to start off with, and, you know, it'd been a quicker process. But, you know,
you can't say that because you started with what you started with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? When I talk to people about it as well, I've compared it to like the property market, where you have to have a huge investment and the returns are small. You're talking, you know, like a rental property, you're making a few £100 a month.
Yeah.
You know, we're making it a day, like, and it's in comparison, the investment is so much smaller. Like,
it's very, very true. I rent out a property, and like it may as well make nothing, right? Because it's so small, it just pays for itself. Like, pays for the gas safety check every year. And I know exactly what you mean. And a lot of people think property is like the way to go. I'm going to invest my money in property, when they just don't know about, you could be making the same that someone makes on a month on rent in one day with one product, starting with, you know, a few £1,000s, without all the headaches of having to have a mortgage and and all the loans that go with it. So that's really cool. I think what would to kind of round it up, like, I know you guys, time precious, is late in the evening. I saw a beer in Matt's hand, or some sort of
celebration.
What advice, or what would you say to someone starting now, someone watching this video that's either at that point where, particularly where they're searching for a product, or they're just thinking about starting and getting in Amazon FBA, or they're looking at, you know, another business model like property, or, you know, social media or drop shipping? What would you say to someone like that?
Well, I'd like to reiterate on like product research and customer empathy, and that's actually how we found our product. It was a product that we used every day and that we felt we could improve. It's as simple as that. We went into London one day, went around a department store, you know, sussing stuff out, and that was good, because it gets you thinking, it gets you kind of looking at the packaging, looking at the options. But ultimately, the product that we found was a product that we used regularly, and we thought we could improve, and it's that simple. And then just implementing the design ideas and improving the packaging, understanding how branding works and the psychology of that's important. But yeah, for me, customer empathy for the product research is a big thing.
Michael, anything different?
Yeah, I agree with Matt. I mean, with the whole customer empathy and you know, with the product research and finding that right product. But I would say that you just got to have confidence in what you're doing. But also understand, do your research, make sure it's right for you. There's always going to be ways to find out what's right and what's wrong. There's loads of support within the course that Jonny does. You know, there's a community as well. There's everything there for you. You've just got to commit time and have confidence, and that's it really.
I guess some of the hardest thing is mindset. I know for me, when I started, I procrastinated for a good year when I was like, oh no, should I do it? Should I not? I'll try something else. I'll go back to it until eventually, I guess it was like, no, I'm going to have the confidence to just do it and see what happens. And obviously it went all right. So yeah, I think that's really, really, really important. And especially what about the whole customer empathy side of things. If there's a lot of people that will sell a product on Amazon and they don't really use it. And the problem is with those people is that they'll never be able to improve their product for the customers because they aren't a customer. I also think it's really important to be a customer when you're thinking about launching a product. So I was thinking about, oh crap, I'm just going to tell everyone. I was thinking about doing these products, the blue light blocking glasses.
Yeah.
Because I use them, right? I use them all the time. The reason I did hydrofuel is because I started drinking and I was like, oh my God, I'm dehydrated my entire life. Someone should probably like have a hydration type bottle that does this. I was like, okay, how can I do that? Whereas I think the first product I launched, I didn't really care about it at all. And then I eventually stopped selling it. So I was like, I can't be bothered. So I don't want to buy it myself. Yeah. So I think it's really important to think about the things that you use on a daily basis, and even things you think, other people don't buy that. They do, right? You think that, this is such a unique thing, or I'm the only person buying this. There's probably thousands of other people, and obviously you can look through, on Amazon at how many people buy stuff that are in the same position. So if you can buy the product, if you can use a product, if you see opportunities, then that's a great place to start. If the metrics are there, even better, right? If there's good sales, then you've got yourself a winning product. The whole kind of competition issue, there's ways to get around the competition. Just like what you've done, is just do it better than everyone else. Right? Have product packaging that looks extremely professional. I received an Amazon product today, and I looked at the packaging, and like straight away you can tell this is a pile of crap. Like the listing sold me, but I looked at it and I was like, spelling mistakes. Open up the box, and it was like something for your teeth, right? And I know I have fantastic teeth anyway, but something for your teeth, like a cleaner, anyway, whatever. And the foam inside something, normally you would be cut out for the exact shape of the product, but it wasn't the right shape. And I was like, that's obviously not supposed to. This isn't supposed to be in this packaging. But it's poor quality, and that will result in poor reviews, and people won't recommend it to their friends and family. Whereas if you do it right, like you guys, then it can go really, really, really well. So I would definitely echo that thought and just say, be a customer, make sure you get into their shoes, have empathy for the customers, and just actually give a shit about your product, right? Actually,
that attention to detail is transferred, it's communicated to the customer. The customer knows if you've spent time and attention on a product. And another thing I'd say is don't rush that beginning stage, the design stage. People are eager to get results, but that beginning stage is so crucial. And once that's done, it is incredibly passive. Literally on a day-to-day basis, I just check.
4 hours checking your sales, 10 minutes work.
RSI thumb. It perceives so much value though, that in that branding, even colours and the psychological value of, it perceives so much value, and it can be £2 per unit for yourselves, but you can charge, whatever you want, 15 quid, 16 quid, but it's what you perceive the value of that to be, and people will see that, and it reflects online because you're not selling in a shop. They're not going to be able to pick it up and feel it. Most designers or people will pick stuff up, they'll scratch it, sniff it, or throw it about a bit, see how tactile it is. Online, you can't do that. It's impossible.
What's he selling?
Hey, trust me. If you new pair of trainers or something, you want to smell it. But you get what I'm saying. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you've got to show the value, and that's the only way you can do it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then pictures as well, so important.
Very the most important, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
like pictures can change everything for someone. Many times I've had to, unfortunately, be very mean to people about their pictures, but it's because that's how you sell your product, right? You guys know that. Anyone that's been successful with it know that that's how you do it. Especially if you've had like bad pictures and then you go to the good pictures and you're like, oh, okay, that increases my conversion rate, increases my click-through rate. All those intricacies make a huge difference, and even one picture changing can make a difference. Even the order can make a difference. Yeah, guys, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. Cannot wait to receive that little message when you say that you've done the first 100K. I'll have a little brewski in
5 days.
celebration.
5,
What
6
day do you
days,
think?
I reckon.
Huh?
5, 6 days, I reckon. We'll get that
Yeah.
message.
Or it could go quicker. You never know.
Could be.
It could be quicker. Exactly. All right, wicked. All right, I want to thank you guys. If anyone has got any questions, would you mind kind of answering them in the comments, if you like, for the next couple of days?
Yeah.
Just kind of,
Yeah.
Of course,
if anyone's got any questions for you guys, ping them down
Happy
there.
to help.
Lovely, jubbly, lovely, jubbly. Right, guys, thank you very much, and yeah, we'll see you very soon.
Thank you.